Hi everyone! Since it is Christmas week, I think that it is appropriate to have this video. Everyone wants to lose weight. They go on starvation diets, low carb high protein diet, low carb high fat diets, try intermittent fasting. So what about a whole food plant-based diet? Here are the research. The largest study to ever compare the obesity rates of those eating a plant-based diet was published in North America. Here are the definitions and example meals of the different diets. Click pause if you want to read. Meat eaters top the chart with an average body mass index BMI of 28.8, close to being obese. Flexitarians, people who eat meat more than on a weekly basis rather than daily, did better on a BMI of 27.3, but were still overweight. With a BMI of 26.3, pescatarians, people who avoid all meat except for fish, did better still. Still, US vegetarians tend to be marginally overweight, coming in at 25.7. The only dietary group found to be of ideal weight were those eating strictly plant-based, the vegans, whose BMI averaged 23.6. Every year on a vegan diet, the risk of obesity decreases by 7%. The study summarizes that individuals consuming a plant-based diet tend to have lower BMI than those consuming a non-plant-based diet. Why is that so? People who had once eaten vegetarian diets but then started to consume meat at least once a week were found in one study to experience a 146% increase in odds of heart disease, a 152% increase in stroke, and a 166% increase in diabetes, and a 231% increase in odds of weight gain. So why do these trends of eating plant-based diets make you weigh less? The weight-reducing secret of plants are their low energy density, meaning you get a lot of food for just a few calories, so it fills you up. Energy density is defined as the amount of calories per unit weight of a food or beverage. Water, for example, provides a significant amount of weight without adding calories. Fiber too. Thus, foods high in water and fiber are generally low in energy density. On the other hand, because dietary fat provides the greatest amount of calorie per unit weight, foods high in fats are generally high in energy density. For example, high energy density foods are like cheese and meat that contains a lot of calories in a small package. A medium energy density food is like a bagel, and low energy density food are typified by fruits and vegetables. In general, the lower the better, with only two exceptions. Soda has relatively low energy density, which makes it look less harmless than it is, and nuts have high energy density as it is high in fat. Hence, they appear less healthy than they are. Science supports that consuming diets low in energy density may be an effective strategy for weight loss. This is because people tend to eat a consistent weight of food, so when there is less calorie per pound, caloric intake is reduced. When people eat a sufficient volume of food, the weight and stretch receptors in our stomach will tell our brain that we are full and that we can stop eating. This is why if we consume low calorie density food, we will get full with a lower calorie intake.
The process starts with a range of receptors in our stomachs that help us gauge how much food we've eaten. These include stretch receptors to help measure the sheer volume of food in our stomachs. We also have density receptors to help determine the caloric density, or what we more commonly call the richness of our food. For instance, 500 calories of natural plant food fills the stomach completely, triggering both our stretch and density receptors to signal our brain that we've had enough to eat. But 500 calories of unnaturally rich or processed food fills the stomach far less. deceiving these receptors into telling our brain that we need to eat more. Even worse is 500 calories of oil, which is almost pure fat, and barely triggers any response at all.
The problem with weight management in humans is that if you make these foods completely artificial, which we do today, you wind up with a problem that people have to overeat just to be satisfied.
Energy density can be reduced in a variety of ways, such as the addition of vegetables and fruits to recipes or lowering the fat and sugar content. Okay, a new click. That's how we evolved, eating predominantly low energy density food such as fruits, vegetables, plants and tubers, which are starch-filled roots like sweet potatoes. More than 30 years ago, researchers were able to cut people's caloric intake nearly in half, from 3,000 calories a day down to 1,570, without cutting portions, just by substituting less caloric dense foods, which means a lot of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans, compared to a high energy density meal with a lot of meat and sugar. Nearly half the calories, but they enjoyed their meals just as much. They tried this in Hawaii, putting people on a traditional Hawaiian diet. Not Hawaiian pizza diet, but a traditional Hawaiian diet with all the plant foods they could eat. They lost an average of 17 pounds in just 21 days, resulting in better cholesterol, triglycerides, blood sugar, and blood pressure. Caloric intake dropped 40%, but not by eating less food. In fact, they lost 17 pounds in 21 days, eating more food, 4 pounds of food per day. They ate more food. They ate 4 more pounds of food per day and still lose 17 pounds in 21 days. But because plants tend to be so caloric dilute, one can starve oneself without getting the same kind of weight gain. Low calorie density foods not only allow people to eat satisfying portions while limiting calories, but also reduce in the energy density are associated with improved diet quality. For example, lower energy density diets are associated with lower risk of pancreatic cancer. Low energy density diets tend to be of healthier diets, so we get the best of both worlds. So how do I start eating more plants or closer to a plant-based diet? There are 2 guides. The first is a plant-based food pyramid and the second is Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. For the plant-based food pyramid, it is important to stay hydrated to ensure that you do not feel hungry when you are just dehydrated. You should consume majority of your volume of your food from fruits and vegetables. Starting at the bottom, you can consume unlimited amounts of vegetables a day. For example, cauliflower, sweet potato, mushroom, squash, Brussels sprout, asparagus, cucumbers, corn, carrot, celery, and bell peppers. You are recommended to eat more than 3 to 4 servings of fruits a day, like pineapple, grapes, berries, tomato, banana, apple, pear, orange, and grapefruit. Moving up, we have our grains. We recommend 5 servings a day. Whole wheat bread, oats, brown rice, pasta, whole wheat, tortillas, granola, quinoa, and barley. Moving up, we have our legumes like black beans, chickpeas, edamame, flaxseed, chia seed, sunflower seed, and lentils. They are recommended to be eaten 2 to 3 servings a day. We also have our leafy greens with 2 to 3 servings a day like spinach, broccoli, kale, and lettuce. We should limit our fats and oils because they are very caloric dense. However, we also need our healthy fats like avocados, almonds, pecans, walnuts, and our other nuts like Brazil nuts. Okay. Okay. Next, we have our Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen, which is designed by Dr. Michael Greger from nutritionfacts.org. It states that you should consume 3 servings of beans, 1 serving of berries, 3 serving of fruits, 1 serving of cruciferous vegetable, 2 serving of greens, 2 serving of other vegetables, 1 serving of flaxseed, 1 serving of nuts, 3 serving of grains, 1 serving of spice. Exercise once a day and drink at least 1.75 liters of water daily. You can get the app from the App Store or Google Play. It allows you to check off the food that you have eaten for the day and shows you the recommendation size, examples of the foods, and it tracks your daily progress. Lastly, if you want to learn more about Dr. Greger's daily dozen, like why he chose these foods and their health benefits, click on the annotations at the bottom right, or you can find the video in the description. Okay, so we have come to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys soon. If you guys face any trouble or have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. That's the same handle as the YouTube channel, The Singapore Vegan. Happy New Year, and here's to a healthier, thinner, and more plant-based 2019.